And that's when the deadliest snake on the planet attacked me.
Alright. Get the fuck. Get the fuck.
My God, it's already wrapping around me. Help me, bro. I'm trying. It's around your leg.
Yeah.
Something not good's going on.
Oh my God. I think we're in a tornado, y'all. Hey, that tree just went down.
When you venture into the untamed wild, you are completely at the mercy of your surroundings. Tonight you will witness a massive deadly cobra cornering a hiker in the jungle, and a sudden violent storm nearly crushing campers under a falling tree. Are you prepared for the brutal reality of a real camping encounter? This case takes place on October 7th, 2022, when Nick from the hunting public and a friend went deep into the woods for a bow hunting trip. After having no luck, they decided to set up a tent and camp overnight, planning to hunt farther into the forest the next day. They had no idea they were about to experience something deeply bizarre. As the two moved through the forest, they were suddenly startled by distant screams and a gunshot. At first, they tried not to treat it as anything serious, but the mood quickly changed.
I keep getting chills all down my back.
Yeah. Somebody is screaming at the absolute top of their
Very not good obscenities to someone else. Right before that last gunshot, it sounded like a truck revving up or something, like in gravel, throwing gravel or something. That one sounded like a rifle. That last one, the other one sounded like a handgun. That last one,
Could you make out a few things they were saying?
it won't repeat on here, but it was like blood-curdling screaming. I've never witnessed anybody screaming like that.
Yeah.
Something not good's going on. Imagine if we would have ended up warping them on it. How close we would be to that.
We might have been able to see it. That's terrifying.
That is wicked.
Hopefully nobody got shot, but sure sounded like somebody did.
Sounds like somebody might have got killed over there. Your vehicle.
The sounds made them feel that something ahead of them was more troubling than they first thought. The tension grew as more gunshots echoed through the area, leaving both men visibly shaken. The screams seemed to hang in the silence for a while, making the situation feel even more disturbing.
I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department.
Okay.
I was hunting, me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, but then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just people, obscenities, and something really bad was going on over there, and there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening. I could hear vehicles taking off and coming to a halt, and we didn't know what to do, and we had no service, so we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there. I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring. My name is Nicholas Andrews.
In the woods, loud sounds like gunshots or screams can travel far and bounce through trees, hills, and open spaces. That can make it difficult to tell exactly how far away something is or where it is coming from. After hearing enough to believe something might be wrong, they decided to report it to the authorities. Once they made the call, the two returned home and looked back on what had happened. They later said that nothing was ever found. But after that many screams and gunshots, it is hard to ignore. What do you think really happened out there? What would you do if two strangers started following you in a remote jungle and kept asking you to go with them? For him, that uncomfortable feeling may have helped him escape something dangerous. On March 7th, 2025, Josh, an adventurer who loves hiking trails, camping outdoors, and visiting new places, traveled deep into the jungles of Sri Lanka. He wanted to explore a hidden cannibal cave and share the journey with his audience, but the trip did not go the way he expected.
Look at this road. Why wasn't this there at the start? It's just all of a sudden become the most amazing road ever created. Wow, look at this road. This is super scenic. I still can't get over how stunning the nature is in Sri Lanka. It is an incredibly beautiful country. There's a big bag of sweat. But fortunately for me, my luck was about to change as I heard the distant rattle of a tuk-tuk engine. Hi, listen. Oh, it's okay. You're a savior. I was back on track, racing up the mountain. But what I didn't realize was that an even bigger challenge was waiting for me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. That was so kind. So I've got about another 30 minutes on this road, and then we should hopefully reach the area where the road will turn to a trail.
As Josh got close to the cave, he only needed to climb a few steps to reach it. Then two men appeared from behind the trees and began following him without saying anything. At first he thought it was strange, but he did not pay much attention. Soon one of the men asked him to follow them. Josh politely refused, but they kept insisting, and that made him uneasy. To record what was happening, he took out his camera and started filming.
I've been joined by some friends. They're showing me around. Very cool. I thought it was a bit strange that as soon as I began filming, they moved out of the shot. I'd worked so hard to reach. Yet every time I lowered the camera, they would tell me to follow them, as they wanted to show me something. But I decided to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think these guys want to show me something. All right. We going this way? But when I finally saw what they wanted to show me, everything changed. It was an abandoned house, and they wanted me to go in first. Okay, I'll follow you. After you. I noticed one of the men was moving behind me, and at that moment, my gut instinct kicked in loud and clear. Get out now. I'm just gonna get one more shot, okay? One more shot. Oh, sorry. I stayed calm, acted like I wasn't suspicious, and slowly walked back towards the entrance. But it seemed like they didn't want me to leave. I'll come soon. I just want to shoot this. But you go, I'll stay. And then I come later. Okay? Okay. So I pretended to take the shot, and when I saw they were distracted, I made my move. At first, I walked at a normal pace, as off camera, but then I heard footsteps coming after me, and that's when I ran. Oh, I'm gonna have a sit. All right, guys, so I have made it to safety. I wanted to wait until I was off the, I'm on way down to that cave. The adrenaline is rushed out of me. That's why I'm very sweaty. That's probably a bit confusing as to what happened.
The men seemed to be trying to lead him away from the cave and toward an abandoned building. Josh became more uncomfortable because he could not be sure what they wanted from him. In remote places, your instincts can react before you fully understand why something feels wrong. Small details like silence pressure from strangers or being led away from an open path can make your brain sense danger quickly. Josh stayed calm and found a way to leave without making the men more suspicious. He escaped the situation and later felt relieved that he was unharmed. The men may have only wanted to show him something, but their behavior made the moment feel risky. In isolated areas, it is always safer to trust your gut and keep your distance when something feels wrong. Do you think Josh avoided real danger, or was it only a misunderstanding? They opened an app for a fun adventure. What they found there turned a random trip into a real crime scene. This video begins when a group of teenagers decided to try the Randonautica app. The app eventually led them to a secluded area of a beach where they found a black suitcase. At first, they joked that it might contain money, but they had no idea they were about to make a horrifying discovery.
Guys, we found a suitcase at the beach.
Gabby, go. I'll hold your stuff.
Oh, wait, open it. Open it. It stinks, y'all.
It washed out.
Oh. Oh. Okay, so she's calling the police so we can see if it's actually a dead body or it's just food.
Which way? It's on the one in Alpine Beach.
It was later confirmed that the suitcase contained human remains. The teenagers were left in shock, especially because they had only planned to go on a fun adventure.
Police are investigating after several bags filled with human remains were found near the water on Alki Avenue this afternoon. There, police say they had received a call about a suspicious bag. They found more once arriving on the scene. Harbor Patrol also helping out, and the King County Medical Examiner's Office has been called in.
The victims were later identified as 35-year-old Jessica Lewis and 27-year-old Austin Cash Werner. After their deaths, their families created a fundraiser offering a reward for information about the murders. In 2022, it was revealed that Lewis and Werner had been killed by their landlord, Michael Dudley, after a dispute over unpaid rent. Dudley was arrested, convicted of 2 counts of second-degree murder, and sentenced to 46 years in prison. Randonautica is an app that gives users random coordinates to explore, often turning a normal walk into something that feels mysterious. Most trips may lead nowhere unusual, but when the app points people to a place where something disturbing is actually found, the coincidence can feel almost impossible to ignore. Do you think this was just a random location, or one of the strangest coincidences ever caught on camera? On November 13th, 2023, a disturbing video was uploaded to YouTube by the channel Wild Woman Bushcraft. In the footage, hiker Vanessa Blank entered a forest in Germany with her dog, returning to a campsite she had visited many times before. She was there to check on a bushcraft shelter she had built earlier, but as soon as she reached the camp, the entire mood of the video changed.
Ich weiß echt nicht, was ich sagen soll. Ich kann nicht was sein. Weißt du, das ist die Vanessa. Na, deswegen nicht. Ich bin gerade an meinem... Pfui. Nein, das ist Pfui. So there is a notification with my name on it. Mrs. Blank, learned nothing, short trousers, and then something I can't read. I'm not sure what's really stand there. I wanna piss at you or I wanna visit you. It's such a ugly writing, I'm not sure if I read everything. So you was not there, what a pity. It's your fault, we see us. It was something that know me, that know my camp. Nein, geh nicht ein, nein. And just want to destroy it because it's mine. What an asshole. Here is shit. I had to cover it that I doesn't step inside. And the only thing which is not so much damaged is the roof. When I covered it with moss, I spent a whole day for it. But everything else is just broken, destroyed. So I removed this wall in one of the last time because before it was here and I don't had enough space, so I remove it at this space. I create there a wood dryer area out of spruce tree that it can dry there, and I always have dry firewood. So and today I want to finish it and create there a table and also make there areas where I can leave my cooking stuff. There was my chair. I have no words how did the person just walk here and think, oh, it's from Vanessa, let's destroy it. My stomach also is crumbling. It's a little bit too much actually. Hopefully I've left nothing.
Vanessa quickly realized that something was badly wrong. Her bushcraft setup had been vandalized. Her gear was scattered across the ground, and parts of her shelter had been torn apart. But the damaged camp was not the most frightening part. Waiting for her was a personal letter. Shaken by what she had found, Vanessa began preparing to leave the area. As she picked up the letter to keep it as evidence, she noticed something even worse.
Den Zettel nehme ich mit. I bring this notification at home. Also jetzt hat der Spaß ein Loch. So, there is a photo from me. It's the same backpack that I carry today, and it's very damaged. So I'm not sure if it's a wildlife track photo or not, because there is the date on it. But when it's not a wildlife camera photo, that means that this person was in my closer area and take a photo from me, walked behind me, wants to check where I am, what I do. Or I have no idea how they could otherwise find out at which day I am in the forest, because I have no special day. And that means that I have this shit again. I had a stalker that write me letters at my private address, which is something that nobody knows who I am, which knows the places where I was bushcrafting. I found your new camp, and I had this all in the past, everything. And I fought against it in the past. And I don't want to have this shit now again, to just be scared everywhere and look behind you if there is someone following, because you always mean that there is something around somebody. I don't want this shit anymore.
Inside was a photograph of Vanessa herself taken deep in the forest. It was proof that someone had secretly been watching her while she was alone out there. Vanessa managed to leave the area unharmed. But knowing that someone had silently observed her in those woods is the kind of discovery that stays with a person for a long time. Maybe the vandalism was meant only to scare her, but the photo made it feel far more personal. What do you think the person behind it was really trying to do? They went to the lake expecting a normal camping trip. But when the sky changed and the wind suddenly tore through the area, the trip turned into a fight to survive. On August 13th, 2024, TJ, the creator of the YouTube channel Kayak USA, went on a camping trip at Lake Guntersville. What started as a normal outdoor trip quickly turned into a fight for survival.
Holy cow, y'all. So, I don't know how much I just filmed out in the water. Me and Dylan were both just waiting and fishing. Look at this. It is pouring. And that's only a few hundred yards away. It is white capping out here on the water. I don't know how bad that looks on camera, but it's pretty bad.
Within minutes, the calm setting changed completely. Dark clouds moved in fast and the wind started rising to dangerous levels. What happened next only made the situation feel worse.
Something popped up on us right here, and it is bad, y'all. I don't know if you can tell, but we're inside of this gazebo. This is nuts. Bro, I hope we ain't got no tornado popped up on us. Oh, shoot. Oh my God.
TJ and his cousin Dylan tried to take shelter under a gazebo, but the storm was too strong. The wind became so powerful that it threatened to lift the gazebo off the ground, forcing both of them to hold it down with all their strength. Then came the most frightening moment.
Oh, stuff falling out of the tree. Oh, no, that was real. Oh, oh my God, dude. We might need to get under the vehicle. This is horrible, man. I haven't either. We probably need to be under our truck. There ain't no doubt. If this tree comes down, it's gonna hit us. Oh my God. I think we're in a tornado, y'all. Hey, that tree just went down. That tree just went down beside us. Guys, I think we are in the middle of a tornado. My kayak is beached.
TJ watched a tree fall only a few feet away. After the storm finally calmed down, they realized how close they had come to disaster.
This is where we were going to park. We changed our mind the last second and parked down there. We wanted to park right behind the bathroom, and we decided to go a little bit further. This was going to be our camping spot, right where this tree's laying. I want y'all to see what just came down. That's beside Dylan. This is where we were going to camp.
They had almost parked in the exact spot where the tree came down. If they had not changed their minds at the last moment and parked somewhere else, they would have been directly in its path. Near large lakes, strong storms can feel even more intense because open water gives the wind room to build speed before it reaches the shore. What makes this encounter so unsettling is how fast nature can change without warning. One small decision may have saved them from serious harm. Do you think they were incredibly lucky, or was this the kind of close call every camper should think about before setting up for the night? On August 6th, 2022 Beast Runners shared a different kind of hiking video. This time, the creator was not exploring for fun. He went into the mountains to search for a hiker who had been missing for about 5 days. The missing hiker had left behind a few clues. CCTV footage showed him entering a mountain trail, and that same morning he posted an Instagram story of the trail entrance. Following those clues, Beast Runners took the same path.
Jerry!
Eventually, he reached a creek that seemed like a possible search area. There, he made a heartbreaking discovery.
Wow. Jerry!
He found the missing hiker, but sadly the man was no longer alive. He carefully secured the body so it would not be carried away by the creek, then made a signal fire to guide rescuers. Authorities could not send a helicopter that day, but the next day the deceased hiker was brought home to his grieving family. The search could not save him, but it gave his loved ones the answer they needed. This case shows how quickly a normal hike can turn dangerous. Do you think hikers should always share their route before heading into remote trails? They were deep in a remote area, far from quick medical help, filming a hike through dangerous snake territory. Then a massive cobra appeared, and in that moment, one bite could have changed everything. This encounter begins on April 25th, 2025, when popular YouTuber Dara from the channel Darata went hiking in Borneo, Indonesia, a region known for venomous snakes. He was joined by his trusted cameraman and a snake expert, not knowing the trip was about to take a dangerous turn.
We had to cross the river.
I mean, careful.
Watch out.
Is there something there?
Let me check. Hold on.
No, I'm getting that. I'm getting. Ah!
Oh my God. It's already wrapping around me. Let me go. I'm trying. It's not around your leg.
Yeah, I can't get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. God, Matt, it's actually constricting it.
Okay, Matt, take it back. Yeah, just throw it.
Can you help me on the leg?
Look at the tail, the back end of the tail. Oh my God.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, got it.
After getting through the first obstacle, the group spotted several snakes. That gave them more confidence, and they began to think the worst part of the journey was already behind them. But they soon realized they were wrong.
We encountered the one thing we had been trying to avoid this entire trip, and one bite means death.
Come back, Diaz. I don't want you to get hurt. Diaz,
Give me that camera.
no, okay. If we want to get footage of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Please be careful, man.
Yeah, just check this out. The largest venomous snake in the world. It's ready to attack.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Okay. All right.
Almost, guys. I need to make this guy away from us.
And that's when the deadliest snake on the planet attacked me.
All right. Get the
Oh my God. Holy. Oh my God. Okay. Diaz. Oh my God.
Right, guys, we need to be careful.
Yeah, yes.
Because we are far away from the health center.
We're not getting
Yeah, Matt.
The most frightening moment came when Dara had a close call with a massive cobra that nearly struck. The encounter left the crew shaken, especially because this deadly species can kill a person within 30 minutes if treatment is not reached in time. In the wild, venomous snakes usually strike when they feel trapped or threatened. Because they were deep in the jungle and far from civilization, one bite could have turned the situation fatal. Fortunately, Dara and the others managed to leave unharmed. Maybe they were prepared, or maybe they were simply lucky in that moment. What would you do if you came face to face with a cobra on a remote trail? On November 18th, 2020, a truck driver pulled over on an unknown road in the USA to film the full moon for his son. It was a quiet evening and he wanted to capture the moment clearly. But while he was focused on the sky, his truck suddenly jolted as if something had hit it.
Anyway, it's pretty cool.
Shaken by what happened, he stopped and checked the dashboard camera footage to understand what had struck the truck. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The road looked empty, and the night around him was still.
No. Wait, there's nothing there.
Then, something strange appeared on the footage. A dark figure was standing completely still in the middle of the road. It did not move, and it made no sound. The driver stepped out to look for himself, but the road was empty. There was no person, no shadow, and no trace of anything left behind. Only silence surrounded him. At night, low light and shadows can make dashcam footage look strange. But this figure appeared for only a moment, then vanished without a trace. Was it just a camera trick or something really standing in the road? This encounter happened on October 4th, 2021. When Johnny from the YouTube channel Florida Boy Johnny and his friend Danny set out on a hiking and camping trip. As they got close to their campsite, they both sensed that something was off. An old truck was parked alone in the exact spot meant for their car. In such a remote area, that felt strange. They tried to push the uneasy feeling aside, but as they kept going, they ran into something much more disturbing than the truck.
Can you hear me? We're heading back the other way. Grab your bag. We're trying to find the trail. We're heading back the other direction. Hurry.
Oh, I'm trying.
That was a 22. It went right over our heads. So we just got shot at. We were, and I just stopped recording. Shot with something like a 22, hit a tree about 2 feet away from us. And we were finding a spot to set up, and we had just set our bags down. I set the camera down after I stopped recording, and a bullet, 22, whizzed right above our heads into the tree that we were standing up. So I yelled out to him, whoever it was, got no response. Yelled out several more times, got one response, no idea what he said.
A bullet suddenly came dangerously close to them. They realized the shot did not feel random, and with no idea where the shooter was, they feared for their safety. Instead of staying, they reported the incident to police and chose another trail to get out of the woods.
This whole area area, the whole trail area.
Yeah.
It's you can hunt on it.
Okay.
I grew up in Pennsylvania. Our hunting season starts a lot earlier out there. It's after the 15th of September because that's when everything opens up, and you got to deal with the city and you got to deal with the people from Jersey.
We had just stopped, and all of a sudden we had one round go right past us, maybe 10 feet, and then another one right above our head, and it just sounded like a 22.
I'll go down. I'm going to see if I can make contact with someone down there.
Truck. Is the white pickup truck your guys'?
In areas where hunting is allowed, hikers can still be at risk if someone fires without clearly identifying their target. That is why bright clothing awareness of hunting season and knowing the area can matter so much. Johnny and Danny escaped unharmed, but the explanation they received did not fully satisfy them. Johnny knew hunting season had started, but that still did not explain why someone would fire so close to them. Was it a careless mistake, or was someone in the woods trying to scare them away? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.